Okay, perfect. The recording has started, and first of all, I welcome everyone to this session where we are going to discuss the plan how you can prepare for the Android interview for the product-based companies, right? So that we want to discuss in this class. So, couple of guidelines, right? Video should be off for all of you. Expect me, obviously, and then I can intentionally mute all. Sometimes noises comes right from all of you if someone is in a location where some background noises are there, right? So I will intentionally keep on muting all whenever needed, right? But try to be on the mute always for all of you. So that is a recommendation for all of you to make it better for everyone, the experience that we want to provide, right? If you want to ask anything, right, raise your hands. At the end, we will have the Q&A. So there you can raise your hand at the end, right? And I'll be happy to pull in and then you can ask whatever you want to ask, right? So first you need to raise your hand, right? Don't just unmute and start speaking. So you will first raise your hand and then I will ask, I will call the name, then you should unmute yourself and then start with the questions, right? Chat intentionally, do not overwhelm everyone. So that is why anyway, if you have any specific question that you can ping me, for example, Ronak has ping, Nitish has ping, Sasikant has ping, right? I can see that, right? So I will first repeat the question so that if anyone is not following the chat as well, you will understand what people have asked and the answer for that, right? So everything is done with some purpose, okay? So that is what we will do. Okay, so we will start now. So the first thing is that you all have joined this session. The meaning is very simple that you all want to do change your life, right? And one thing is very important that I keep saying money is the solution of most of the issues, right? Not all, but most of the issues, right? So we need to do something so that we can double, triple our salary, right? And I'm not just saying that you should focus on only the numbers. With knowledge, this is something which we can achieve, right? And I know that why I do all these things, and I have a complete belief that in India or around the world as well, right? So there are a lot of developers who are underpaid, right? And that is something that I want to solve. And for that only, I am here to guide you what you can do for that. Because I have seen my students, I have seen people around the world, right? Earning what they deserve as well, right? So for example, I know someone with 3 years of experience earning 70 lakhs in India, 70, right? I know someone in Android I'm talking about. I'm not just talking about any domain, right? I know someone having 6 years of experience earning more than 1 crore in India, right? So things are possible. It is just that we need to believe. And when we don't believe, right? So we are not going to achieve that number if you have in that mind, right? So, but for that, knowledge is something very important. Without that, anything is not possible, right? So number is an objective thing that you can target, but subjectively you need to focus on the knowledge thing, right? Otherwise there is no medium to measure that what we have done in our life, right? So based on the experience, based on you can transform in 2 years. I'm not saying that everything will happen in 4 months, 3 months, 6 months, right? But you should set a target of like 6 months, like 2 years, 3 years where I will be, right? Short-term target doesn't actually helps, right? So for example, if you are having a CTC of, for example, 20 lakhs for now, right? And you want to achieve something 60 lakhs, and I have seen people doing in 1 year as well, right? 20 to 60. So if let's say that is our target, right? And within 2 years if I want to achieve that, right? So it means after 2 years my salary will be 60. So within a year I need somewhere around 40, right? So that I can actually reach 60 or bare minimum 50 within 2 years from 22, right? So every 6 months you need to plan whether we are on the track or not, right? So for example, after 6 months or 1 year, we will need 35, 40 around, right? If we are not on that track, it means we are not going to achieve that 60, right? So always after every 6 months or in fact 3 months, you need to reevaluate where we are, right? So think about the sports, right? Every ball, after every over, you analyze, reanalyze the things, what I need to do in the next few overs, right? So accordingly, we need to think our career as a sports. Every month, every 3 months, every 6 months, we need to analyze that where we are right now and how I can achieve that target by doing some changes in the path, right? So that is very important for all of us to think as a career, as a sports thing. Otherwise, in career, we think that I will do that, right? But in sports, we focus that I have 3 overs left. I will do this with this plan, right? Same thing we need to plan in your career as well, right? So try to take the analogy of that sports in your career, right? And then you will be able to achieve a lot of things. So first, we need to believe that yes, I can do that, and accordingly, we need to start acting in that direction. So this is something I wanted to communicate first, that these 60, 70, 80 lakhs are actually possible in India as well, and in this Android domain itself, right? We don't have to look beyond that, that yes, something I want, I will change my domain, right? So if you are not interested in something, you should change that. But before that, if you can achieve in this only, you can target to achieve that definitely, right? So there are people, right, doing that, and I hope you can also try to achieve that. And many of you might not be working at the product based companies, right? So for example, if you want to work at Gojek, for example, I'm saying, right, if you want to work at Gojek, phone pay, I'm not talking about Google, I'm being practical here, what we can do, what we can't do, right? And obviously, if you put effort, you can go to Google, Facebook as well, but at the same time, we have to be practical where we are now and what we can achieve. So in that direction, hmm, I think some noise is coming. I'll first mute. So first raise your hand if you want to say something, right? At the end we will have that as well Q&A, right? So I'll just mute all everyone and then I will resume from here. So here the thing is that if let's say if you're working at some XYZ company, let's say Infosys, right? And if you want to go to Gojek, PhonePe like that, right? So you cannot directly, in most of the cases I'm talking about the practical scenario. If you want to move from Infosys to Gojek, there must be a way, there must be a path to do that, right? You cannot just go and blindly apply to Gojek and you will get the call. It will never happen, right? Because there will be a criteria which Gojek is following to like evaluate the candidate from where I am going to call the for the interview, right? So maybe they are getting the candidates from companies similar to Paytm, companies similar to like for example no broker or something like that, right? Swiggy. So what we have to do first, you need to check where you are exactly, right? So let's say you are at Infosys, for example, I'm saying, right? And then if you want to achieve something like Gojek, PhonePe, and so on, so right. So you will see at least 20, 30 LinkedIn profile based on your research that you need to do, right? Without research, that is not going to happen at all. So you need to research a lot about it, that who were the people now they have reached that level where I want to reach, like Gojek PhonePe in India. And I'm just taking the example of India, right? And right now, I'm working at Infosys. They were also working at companies like Infosys, Accenture, and so on, so right, TCS. But they moved from like TCS, Infosys to those companies, right? Gojek and the PhonePe. So there must be a ladder, right? So you will research at least 20, 30 people, and you will realize that from ABC company, which is Infosys and all those companies, from there they have moved to some intermediate companies. Those intermediate companies might be Paytm, right? Might be no broker kind of, right? Might be some other companies. So you need to first research on that, that what are those similar companies where they have first gone, right? And after that, from there they can start getting calls of the Gojek, right? So you need to first understand that every companies will not hire from every companies, right? So that we need to understand, otherwise we will just blindly keep on applying. So this framework we need to follow, right? And if you can, and here the most important thing is that you need to really research a lot about it, because finding 20, 30 people where you are and they were 5 years back and you want to achieve that is not an easy job, right? So you will have to devote a lot of time to find out that. And once you have found out, right, you will get the confidence that they were at the similar companies where I am right now, and I am able to actually see the exact path where I want to go, right? And that is something going to definitely help you, right? So this is something I will recommend everyone to do. Evaluate where you are, evaluate where you want to go, and try to find the path. Just find 20, 30 people, those who have done that already. Follow that path, right? And in between, when you're following that 2 years of path, 3 years of path, you will have to reevaluate after every 6 months, 7 months where we are, right? But evaluate in terms of sports that yes, I have this many months left, I will execute my plan, right? So if you are targeting 20 to 60, something like that, bare minimum you will reach 50, 55, right? So that is also a great outcome. Otherwise, staying at a company, one recommendation for everyone, do not stay at a company for more than 5 years unless and until you have a very like strong position at that company and you are getting everything what you want of the life, right? So if you're getting everything what you want out of the life, you're already great, you are already doing great in your life, right? But general recommendation for 99% of the cases, do not stay at a company for more than 3 years. If you're staying more than that, it means we are taking the salary hit. And you know by yourself that you have already done that. Most of us, right? So we generally do that only, that comfort. And that comfort is actually not benefiting us in any areas, right? So for example, if you're not changing the job, you will reach 20 to 30. And now by changing the job, you can reach 20 to 40, 50. So after 3 years, every year you are having a loss of 20, 30 lakhs. Think from that angle, right? Whatever you're thinking, think logically, mathematically, you will have your answer every time, right? So that is what I will recommend everyone to follow. So that framework you need to follow, that where you are, where you want to achieve, try to find out 20, 30 people, follow that path, right? Be motivated to follow that path, right? So that is very important. So in general, for any Android interviews, right? I'm talking about most of the cases, you will have four kinds of interviews rounds, right? So one is data structure. 70-80% of the good companies will ask. I'm not talking about all the companies. I'm talking about good companies where we can actually target within 2 years or maybe 1 year, something like that, right? Then machine coding round. Then this. Here the order could be anything, but generally you will have four rounds of interview, more or less something like this, right? So as a Android developer, we do not focus on the data structure. And that is something I will highly encourage everyone to at least focus what you can do with respect to Android, right? So, and here I'm not talking about Google, Facebook, and all those companies, right? So there you'll have to put a lot of effort differently. And generally that effort people put when they are kind of freshers or they are in the college like that, right? And now you all are experienced developer, you have your personal life, professional life, families, and all those things. Very difficult to do that, and we need to accept that, right? So when we accept something, the reality of the life, then we will follow, and we will understand that what effort we are putting and what result we are getting from that, right? So the first is data structure that I will highly encourage everyone to practice, and for that what I recommend to my students, so that I will convey now. So this website I recommend, neatcode.io. This is not, so everyone can see my screen. Please confirm me just.
Yes, sir.
Can see my,
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Yes.
good. I'll mute again so I
Yes.
know that everyone is able to see the screen. Hmm. So this is the website which I recommend for the Android specific roles. Again, I'm not talking about Google, right? But I'm talking about like Walmart, JP Morgan. Then we have companies like this Commonwealth Bank and so on, so right? So PhonePe, Gojek, right? Gojek doesn't take the data structure, right? So anyway, for most of the companies, you will have to go with this. So here for this data structure, I recommend this neat code, and here you have couple of lists that they have created. One is blind 75, another one is neat code 150, right? If you have more time, focus on neat code 150. If you have less time, focus on blind 75. Very simple, right? So neat code 150. What I recommend here is that here you have the category wise problem statement divided. And what is good about this list is that all the problems are unique problems, right? All the problems are unique. Now what we do, now first we go and we try to learn everything conceptually, and then we lose the motivation, right? So that is important when you are going to do PhD in data structure, or you are going to go for the Google, Facebook kind of companies, right? But other companies like Blinkit and so on, so you don't need that level of preparation. And actually, we don't have that much time at our end, right? If we don't have the time, we can't do that. As simple as that. So let's accept the reality and put that much effort which are going to give you the result, expected result, right? So here for the Android developer role of this company which I'm talking about, I recommend till this backtracking, right? So first you should focus on this until the backtracking, right? So you need to focus on all of this. And there also I will recommend when you click on this, you will see easy, medium and hard, right? Sometimes you will have the hard problem as well. So here as well, I will recommend easy and the medium. So if you're going for any competition interview, which I'm talking about, there you will see that you will be given two problem. One problem most likely will be similar or exactly what is here, right? And one problem, another problem will be similar to that, right? So if you go for 10 companies interview, I'm sure you will be able to qualify four companies data structure, right? And here we are putting 1 by 10th of effort, right? And we are getting 4 out of 10, 3 to 4 out of 10, and that is a great outcome, right? And right now we are just starting with the theoretical part. We are not doing anything and we are having the result of 0 by 10, right? So with minimum effort, you can target 3 to 4 companies out of 10 companies when you apply, right? So that is doable. So for that only, I am saying that here you will focus on easy and the medium. And for the environment, right? Because when you go for the company's interview, your environment will be similar to the lead code. So for that, you need to focus here. External link. Here you can see the external link is there. So what I mean here is that you will practice the problem on the lead code, the original LEET lead code, right? But you are going to take the list from here. So list from here, right? So till the backtracking, I recommend for the Android developer role for those companies which I was talking about, till here, backtracking. And with this, you will be able to achieve a lot. How you will go about it? Very simple. My recommendation, I have seen my students following that and they have succeeded. And definitely everybody will not follow that. They have their other commitments as well, right? So I do understand that, but those who follow have got the great outcomes like JP Morgan, Walmart, and all these types of companies, right? So that you can target as well. So array and hashing, for example, you are getting started with this, right? So just chat GPT that tell me in short about the array and hashing. That's it, right? You just need to know that if I use hash, I will have the O of one of the time complexity and all those things, right? Just time complexity for retrieving, deleting, adding. That is something that you need to just ask the chat GPT, right? In short, whenever you're asking chat GPT, ask that you tell me these things in 100 words, in 200 words, something like that, right? Don't waste your time in a long code that chat GPT shows you, right? So, no, very simple. Ask that explain me in 100 words. And then ask the chat GPT if you're not able to understand that, give me some intuition behind that so that I can understand with the clarity. So this is something I follow and I get the good outcome from that. So if you're doing array hashing, you will just revise few things or you will just ask ChatGPT about it. You will not waste more than half an hour for this thing. Otherwise, infinite things are there, right? So let's not do that. So now we have first question, right? So first question, open it, simply read the problem, right? And again, I am doing this, I am recommending this only from the interview perspective, right? So that is the goal. That's why you have all joined this session. So you need to read the problem statement with clarity. There you need to focus on the edge cases like constraint. These are important, right? First, you will try to solve this for like 5 to 10 minutes. Do not waste your time because we are not going to do PhD. Once again, I am saying that, right? So our motive is that we need to learn the pattern from all of this problem, right? So after 10 minutes, if you're not able to do that, watch the video solution you have, and you can in fact select the this solutions language as well. Here somewhere it will be, you can select the solution language as well, right? So that is also there. Somewhere it is there, you can check, right? So on the website, when you open, you can do that. But here, if you see, solutions are there, right? So here, video solutions is present, right? And then here they have the this Kotlin, Java, right? Both you have. Everything is there, right? At the end of the day, the thing is that you need to be very, very confident about this problem. And when you are writing the solution, you should understand each and every line of the code, that what edge case that particular line is solving, right? If you remove that line, how the code will behave, that you need to understand. So that is the outcome from this exercise. So as a guideline, right, what you can do, that every week you can plan 3 to 4 problem every week, maybe one problem in 2 days or one problem a day. So you can plan 3 to 4. If you have time, you can plan one problem a day or something like that. Don't be hard about it, right? When we are hard about it, we lose the motivation when we skip that, right? So plan that I will do only 3 to 4 problems a week, or maybe two problem also if you have interview after 6 to 7 months, right? So 2 3 problems, solve it, right? And one day you plan that whatever I have solved this week, I will go through them to try to understand the pattern, right? So that you need to do on the weekend. Maybe you can do that, right? Next week, what will you do? You will solve more 5 problem or 3 problem based on your situation. And on the weekend, what will you do? You will not just go through that problem statement that you have done in that week, plus in the first week, what you have done, right? So first week plus second week, you are going to revise in the second week. Similarly, you will keep on doing like that. And at the end of the day, after 6 months also, if someone is asking the questions similar to this or the same questions, you should be able to relate to that and at least discuss that, right? So that is the first step in going about the interview. Otherwise you will be blank, right? So similarly, if you are then learning the two pointer approach, first you will understand what exactly is two pointer. And when you go learn the two pointer approach, and then when you are going to the sliding window, you will see that they are related, right? Somehow. So you need to understand that what is the exact difference between both, where I will use sliding window and where I will use the two pointer. Maybe they are correlated, right? So you need to ask those questions, that be curious, ask as much as question to the chat GPT, right? And that too in the short that you should ask. So this is how you can do the data structure. Obviously, it needs a lot of motivation, hard work from our side. And if you take that sports analogy, which I discussed, with that, I think you should be able to actually achieve this, right? You need to reevaluate, and that will keep you motivated to achieve that number. Think that now you are at X, maybe 2x, 3x you want to target, how that is going to change your life, right? If you have that picture in the mind, then you will achieve for, like, you will do whatever is needed for that. Otherwise, just I want to change the company, right? That is not going to work, and that has never worked for most of the developers, right? You should have some target that, yes, I will make it and I will do something for my family. Very simple, right? So that you need to have in your mind. So this was about the data structure, right? And I think these problems are more than enough, right? So, and now when you have time, right, then you will go about the hard problem in this 150. You have less time, focus on blind 75, like this easy and the medium. You have time, go about the hard problem. Then need code 150, more than enough, right? So there also, if you have time, then only go with the hard problem. And then if you have time, start learning DP or so. But I will not recommend, because we have limited time. So till the backtracking, that is recommended for this particular thing. So you can do till this whatever I have discussed. Okay, till now for everyone, please confirm me. So whatever I have discussed. Okay for
Yeah,
now?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Yes, yes.
So
Yes.
we will move to the next thing. Hmm. One more problem statement which I recommend for any Android developer, which is LRU cache, right? So just search on the internet that LRU cache lead code. Simple, right? Maybe LRU cache lead code. So some bot and all this thing asking. Anyway, doesn't matter. And you will have some ID like this LRU cache. There you need to use this doubly linked list and the hash map. So that problem statement, if you're going for the, so just a second, I'll mute everyone. If you're going for 10, 20 interviews, right? At least in one or two interviews, you will be asked about the LRU cache, right? So that you should be very sure about it. So that is something I will encourage everyone to practice that. So LRU cache is important for all of us to practice, 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 right? Now, one question that might arise in your mind is that should I go with Kotlin or Java, right? So I address so many students, so I know that this is a common question that should I go with the Java or the Kotlin? So yes, very nice. So one of the student developer has pinged that yesterday they gave the interview. C gave the interview, and LRU cache was asked, right? So I'm pretty sure what I am saying in this session, right? I'm interacting with more than 1,000 developer on a regular basis. I have those students, so I can confidently say. So what happened is that you need to pick a language, Kotlin, Java, whatever language you can pick for Google, but for all these Android developers role, you need to pick between Kotlin and Java, right? Most of the people are happy that whatever you pick, right? Kotlin, Java. So my recommendation is that if you have the interview after 6 months or 3 months, and if you have not done anything with the Kotlin, start learning Kotlin and do the data structure also with the Kotlin so that when you write more and more code, that will come into your muscle memory. See, think about the Java. Java is something you all can write even if I close your eyes, right? So that has come into your muscle memory, right? Similarly, Kotlin should come. So if you have the interview after 3 to 6 months, do with the Kotlin. Se- Second case, if you already know Kotlin and if you have the interview like in the near future as well, go with the Kotlin practice as much as possible. You can do that, right? But if you have the interview like after 1 month, 30 days, 20 days, right? So in that case, you cannot, and you do not have any understanding of Kotlin as of now, right? So in that case, it will be difficult, right, to do everything with the Kotlin, right? So in that case, I will recommend Java, right? So be truth about yourself that yes, I know I don't know Kotlin and I have the interview after 10 days. I cannot turn the things right now, right? So I will simply go with the Java. I'll practice the things in Java and I'll go with that Java itself. So that is what I will recommend. So now with this framework, you can decide whether you should go with the Java or the Kotlin. So if you have interviews later, 3 months, 6 months, definitely you should go with the Kotlin because without Kotlin, it is going to be very, very difficult for you to start working at these good product-based companies, right? Definitely like next to impossible. So that was about the data structure. What will you do and how you can do that? Now, the second thing that we have in this list is the machine coding round. So I'm seeing the chat. I will answer once I am in that mood. Okay. So, but I will definitely answer all the questions. So machine coding round. So that is a machine coding round that we need to prepare. So here what happens first, let's try to understand. So there are a couple of categories here. And before that, I will show you that you can just follow this blog, which I have. So nowadays people are using MVVM, Kotlin, Dagger 2, and then we have this uh, Dagger held, coin, debatable, right? So it depends on company to company what they ask. But you can stick to something, the difficult one, easier one, you can obviously do. So if you learn the Dagger 2, which I mentioned here, right? You can use Dagger Hinge easily. You can use any dependency injection framework easily, right? So that doesn't mean that you need to learn everything, right? So pick one dependency injection framework, learn effectively, right? So Kotlin, retrofit, coroutine, state, flow, all those things, Jetpack Compose, this XML, whatever we have, right? So all those things are the latest tech stack that we should follow. So this has all the guidelines that how you can like structure the project and everything I mentioned. And here is that link of the project, right? So they are present here. simply. So here, what we need to do is that we need to build a screen, build an app with a single screen. We need to build an app with a single screen, and on that screen, most likely you are going to have the recycler view. I'm talking about 90-95% of the cases, right? So in that case, you will be asked to design an application using some API. The response will be something like this, because you will have to use the recycler view because of the nature of the data that we have, and maybe uh, network call, like that, all these things. So all these things are already set up in this project. So an application from scratch using all these tech stack architecture, using all these libraries like retrofit and so on, and you need to build a screen activity. It could be XML, Jetpack Compose, based on the company's preference, right? Nowadays, companies have started focusing on the Compose assignment. You will have to learn that, right? So at least product-based companies, good will definitely ask you, right? So you need to learn the Compose as well. So that is something I will recommend everyone to learn. So a screen with recycler view, data coming from the server, right? So that is the assignment that most of the companies will give you, right? Or something smaller than that, like weather app, right? But you need to cover all the use cases, error handling, internet connection, not internet connected. Like that, we need to focus on that. But structure of the code should be perfect, right? So this you can simply follow, right? This you can simply follow. And if you are following this, right, you can just have this as a base project and you can do on the top of that. So in any companies, I'm talking about 90-95% of the cases, you will be asked the question similar to this for the machine coding round. Now, how this happens, right? So you might be asked that you need to submit this assignment after 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, right? So it means that you can simply do however you want to do at your end, because you have infinite time for that, right? At your end. But second category is that you will be asked to live code during the interview video call, right? So you need to share the screen. You can take help from the internet for the dependency that you want to add, like that, right? In some companies, you can take the reference from your project as well, but most of the companies will not ask you to do that, right? So they will say you need to have just internet and other projects you can see on the internet, GitHub and all those things. You can take the reference issues and all those things, and then you need to build that project. So the common issues which I have seen people faces when they create the project from the scratch, they, because we need to complete that in 45 minutes. So this complete project should be done in 45 minutes. That is the reality, right? You might be working on bigger features. You have time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. That is a completely different thing. But for interview, you need to execute this project in 45 minutes during the live coding session, right? So that if you are going to do, you have a limited time, and there we are going to face a lot of issues. And I have seen the common issues are we are wasting the time in setting up the project, because when you set up the project you face build issues, Kotlin version, Gradle version, invalidate cache, and all those things. We do a lot of things. So for that we need to be very, very, very prepared with. And for that I will recommend that first thing, do not update your Android Studio during the or before the interview days, right? If you have tomorrow interviews, you need to set up your Android Studio version today. Fix that. Do not update before the interview, right? Fix that. Practice a basic project, a base project, and note down all the dependency version that you are using. So you need to fix your version for your laptop specific thing, right? You will fix that. My Kotlin version will be this. My Dagger version will be this. So for that, you can simply use this project, because this project has all the libraries already added, right? So you can verify on your laptop which version of Kotlin, which version of Gradle, which version of other libraries, dependencies are compatible with each other, right? Once you miss something here, you're definitely going to waste the complete 45 minutes, an interview gone. And that is a mistake that we all do. And that is why I am here taking this session to guide you, help you achieve your target, right? So in 45 minutes, I know this is doable. people have done that and they are getting the great outcome in terms of everything in their life, right? So that 45 minutes is very important for all of you. You need to practice. In fact, you can have the sticky notes that you're in, right? Because if you're going to add retrofit, I'm going to add the retrofit version 2 point something something something. I'll do that, right? So you need to be aware of what versions are of which libraries are compatible with each other. And that is very important for all of us to avoid wasting the time. And now, when you're building the project, right? When you first just set up the project, right? Just create a phrase project. There might be a case that that phrase project is not working in your Android Studio. So you will know that yes, when I recreate a new project, I face this issue, I solve like this. So maybe if you have to enable the JTFire or something like that, right? So there are so many things which comes during the build things, right? So that we need to practice. So this new app, if you can build from the scratch, first time it will take you three hours, definitely 4 hours. Then over the period, if you build this for 3 to 5 times, you're going to achieve that in 45 minutes, right? So that is for the live coding session. Home assignment, you can do whatever you want to do. So that is simply you can definitely do, right? So that was about the categories, right? Now, when you're going for the live session or if you're giving the assignment, so there also things can be changed, right? How things can be changed? People can ask you to build this kind of project, but with the offline first thing. So you need to have the room implementation, right? Then they can ask you that you should have something like, for example, uh, pagination, unit testing, right? So have a project in which you will have a recycled view, data coming from the network that has pagination, that has offline first architecture, different screens you can create, one without pagination, one with pagination, one with offline first architecture, and write the unit testing for the online one that is coming from the internet, right? And I completely believe that this covers 99% of the interview assignment, right? So if you already have practice with that, that you can simply do. And I have seen my students doing that and they have done great in that aspect. Now, how things can be changed in that, right? So they can ask you that this is the project. So for example, in the project, they will set up only data layer, right? Now you need to set up the DI layer and you need to set up the UI layer. So that can be asked. So that is a different way to do the machine coding round, right? Half of the code is given and half of the code you need to code, right? First thing, you need to code everything, right? And that can be again either live or home assignment, right? Second thing, again, this could be from both either live or the home assignment. Half of the code is given, half of the code you need to code, right? Third category, you will be given the code, complete code, right? And you will be asked that find the issues in this project or how will you improve this project. So you need to suggest all the improvements that are possible. So let's say you are given and they are not following any architecture. So the first improvement is obviously we need to follow some MVVM architecture, right? Then it could be something like that, whatever we have, right? So you can suggest. So for example, data is coming from the internet, but we are not seeing that data into the UI, right? So first you will not debug the UI, you will first try to debug it from the network layer. There might be a case that some data is coming that is not nullable, but server is sending null, right? So that parsing issue is coming. So like that, you need to debug. So these types of questions can be built. You will be given a code and they will ask that what is the mistake in this code. So for example, one question that I see, people sometimes show context used in the view model, right? And as we know that we need to keep the view model independent of any Android SDK thing. And context is the Android SDK thing. So if someone is showing you the code of the view model and there somewhere they have used the context, right? So you need to say that, yes, this context should not be used here. We need to do this differently so that context doesn't come into the picture of this code flow, right? So these things we need to learn first, right? And then we can confidently answer that, yes, this is something we should improve in this project, right? So these are the types of questions that will be asked in the machine coding round, right? So that I will recommend everyone to practice. So this link is more than enough, but yes, Definitely you need to ask questions that what I can improve in this project, or just go on the random projects available on the GitHub, pull that project, use LLM, ask what can be improved, right? And when LLM is saying something to you, you need to question that again and again, whether this is correct suggestion or not, right? So that is something we generally don't do. So that was about the machine coding round, how it happens and what can be done to make it better, right? Always have the base project ready. So this is the base project. In this, you can simply change the name of the classes and you can submit it, right? But before that, knowledge is important. So when you're going through this project, you need to first ask, yes, Amit has used sealed classes here, right? And I'm not aware of the sealed class, for example. So I will ask ChatGPT what is sealed class. I will learn about it, and then I will question why I will use sealed class here, why I can't use something else here, what is the extra benefit that we are getting. Again, ask ChatGPT. Keep asking, be curious till you get your answer, right? Modify your way of asking, and but keep asking the question to the ChatGPT. Now, now if you have learned that why sealed classes is used here, what is the advantage of that? Now ask, hey ChatGPT, can you tell me one more use case where I must use sealed classes? If I use something else, that will not be a better idea to do, right? In production. So what I mean from here is that whatever you are learning in Kotlin or anything as such, you are trying to simulate 3 to 4 years of experience in quick time, right? And that you can only simulate if you understand the real use case of that particular topic in the production, right? Similarly, if you're using something, for example, extension function, so you need to ask how differently I can use the extension function in the production application. See, sample all those code we can definitely see, right? Similarly, for the init block, if I'm using init block inside the view model, I should be asking question to the chat GPT, why I can't use something else instead of using the init block in the view model, right? Ask question, what are alternatives? So then you will see that we have some alternatives, but they are not better than this view init block in the Kotlin, right? And then ask where else I can use the init block in the this Kotlin production Android app project, right? Similarly, you will learn about the scope function. Ask where else I can use this apply also run with scope functions in the real projects. So when you are learning any topic, you need to at least understand three, at least two real good proper use case that how we are going to use that in the production application. That is very important to simulate 3 to 4 years of experience within short time, right? So what we learned after working on a project with Kotlin in 3 to 4 years, we learn all these use cases, right? And that I am trying to ask you to simulate that same thing in the 3 months, 4 months if possible, right? And now the biggest advantage that we have in this era is we have the chat GPT, and we can ask chat GPT will go check all the bigger project on the GitHub, and it will suggest you that here how init block sealed classes are being used, and you can definitely take the advantage of this large language model in your learning. So this is how you can like learn Kotlin effectively, anything as such effectively in short time, right? So ultimately we need to learn how we need to use the things in production. Don't just learn where, well, and all those things, right? There are many videos. That is something not going to help us. Ask good question to the chat GPT, why I will go with the late init, why I can't use something else, and keep asking, right? And I'm sure like I do that, and sometimes I had to ask more than 20 questions to the chat GPT to just get one answer. But in that flow, when you're asking 20 questions, you are going to get a lot of things in your mind, and that is something is going to simulate that production use case behavior, right? So follow this, try this, and I'm sure that you are going to get some great outcomes. So for example, I was learning about this eigenvector and eigenvalues that we have in the mathematics machine learning, right? So there uh, for ITJ when I cracked, right, or in 12th, all those maths I learned about it, right? But that was only for that exam preparation, right? So now I am seeing the actual use case of eigenvalue and all these things, eigenvector in the machine learning models, how they use it. But I thought that I learned at that time. Now I'm seeing the use case only in the machine learning. There must be some other use cases, right? So I study only. I learned that eigenvector, eigenvalue are used in Google page ranking when they first created the first model, right? Google has already used that in that previously. Okay, so that was the case. So this is how you can keep asking the curious question to the chat gpt, right? So I got to learn a lot about the use cases and so on. So now I can explain eigenvalue and eigenvector to anyone with 100% confidence, right? I know in and out of that, and I know how to explain that as well with intuition as well, right? So that is something I will recommend everyone to do that, right? Keep asking curious questions to the chat gpt. Till now everything is fine? Please, everyone, be active and tell me everything is fine till
Yes.
now, what I
Yes.
discussed.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Good.
I'm seeing the chat. I can I will answer that whatever questions we have in the chat in some time. Okay, again I will mute everyone. Okay, just in the favor of everyone time, right? Now we have the next thing. We discuss everything about the data structure, what we need to do in the favor of interview, not in the favor of doing the PhD, right? Then we discuss everything about what we need to do for the machine coding round. So that is something we need to do. And then we have the Android and the Kotlin concepts. Android and the Kotlin concepts. So here we will discuss now, right? So in the Android and the Kotlin concepts, right? First, see, I'm not talking about life cycle and all those things, activity, right? So those are things you all already know. I'm talking about things like which are typical questions you will be thrown when you are going for good or great companies. How view model works internally, like tell me the real use case of the convince me and explain shield classes versus enum, right? So like those types of questions you will be asked. And Android and the Kotlin, right? In Android, one day I posted on the LinkedIn that we must learn how to create our own live data, right? And I teach that in my classes. We must learn that how to create our own LRU cache, right? Someone commented that it means we should also learn how to create our RX Java. So that was not my intention, right? Smaller things. Whenever you get time, you need to experiment, prototype that, right? And on that post only, one of my students, Sivam, he got offer from 5 6 companies, right? And he was giving interview to Adobe. And coincidentally, right, at that time only Adobe asked him, right, design your own live data, right? So it's not just I'm saying whatever I'm saying it from the data, right? Because I am interacting with thousands of developers, and that's how I can help them, right? So you need to learn that, right? If you are really going to change your life, you need to learn that, right? How to design your own live data. It is not that you're directly using the live data, why to learn that, right? Similarly, if you're using view model, why should I learn how to create our own view model? We must learn that. Otherwise, we will be always working at the companies where we are, right? If you have to do great, we will have to put effort and learn all these things, right? So Android, Kotlin, Java concepts, right? In this, just try to find out 10 20 typical questions like view model, cell classes, live data, security aspect when you are going for the payment applications, memory leaks, right? So all these things are important. So those things you can definitely, and for the list which I cover in my classes, I can share this, right? So for example, in the coroutine, people ask right now about why coroutine is really effective than the thread. And there is a contradiction here that coroutine works on the thread itself. But why this is more effective, right? So to convince anyone, we need to learn how this works internally. Similarly, there is a concept of continuous and passing style, right? Most of you might not have heard about, but this is a common question. How continuous and passing style is helping coroutine building that suspend function, right? So how this complete thing works. Similarly, view model, live data, right? Room database, right? We use room databases. But if I have to teach room database, I'm not going to teach room database that how to use that. I will discuss more about the design, and I will discuss more about the this particular thing, which is migration. Why that step by step migration is important. Once you understand that step by step migration, then you can do anything with the room database. Otherwise, we will be in a loop that we just need to understand how to use it. How to use it, completely fine. But beyond that, we have the design, right? So that is something I will recommend. Then offline first architecture. In the offline first architecture, you just don't just think about the room database, right? Think about all the ways to make the app offline, right? All the ways, right? For example, you can do this with the shared preferences. You can do without using anything, just by having enabling things from the backend, and OKCDP will do that for you, right? We have 7 8 options for that, right? We need to understand, analyze all the options, and then make a call that yes, for this use case, this I am going to use, right? So for example, you can obviously write anything in your file system, right? Now, should I go with the database or should I go with the file system? There you need to analyze what is your exact use case and what is that strong logic why I am picking database over file system, or I am using direct file system over the databases. Databases are essentially internally file system, but we have the wrapper of that database SQLite, and on the top of that we have the room. Room is not the database, right? Room is just the ORM, wrapper over the SQLite. SQLite is the database that we use in the Android. Otherwise, everything is over the wrapper. So you're using the wrapper. Internally, SQLite is interacting with the file system, right? And now you can obviously create a file, something.txt, data.txt, data.json. You can write all the data there. So what is the advantage, disadvantage of having a database or having the file system where we are writing file.write, file.read, something like that, right? So that mindset we should have that. So system design is all about having many options and deciding which option fits here, right? That's it. So then we should be good at debugging, fixing the memory leaks and all those things, right? And then we have the last thing, which is the system design, right? So this particular thing. So this we can prepare, and here I will recommend practice 10 20 typical questions, right? View model, memory leaks. So for example, if you're learning about the memory leaks, you should be very sure about what is the exact meaning of when I say memory leaks and when I say out of memory, right? So few days back or 1 week back, I have posted it about this on the LinkedIn. You can check my post, right? Exact difference between otherwise confusion, and we are going to do a blunder in the interview, and I have seen people done that, and I accept that mistake. That recently I started this clarifying that this is exact. Otherwise, earlier I was thinking that everyone knows about it, right? Now, from the recent batch, I have started explaining that, and I also posted, right? Then we have the system design, right? So in the system design, right, most of the things when you read on the internet and when you go, right, there you will see they are talking from the backend perspective as well, right? So if you have to design Spotify for the Android interview, right, why will you care about 1 million user? You are coding something and that is going to be run on only one device. One APK, one app, right? Single instance is running on one particular device. Another instance of the Spotify is running on the another device, right? So either it is 1 or 10 or 1000 or 1 million, doesn't matter. Scale for Android is different from scale of backend. 1 million they need to handle. We will make a network request from the Android app to the backend, right? Backend should handle that 1 million of request if it is coming, right? For the Android side, the only thing is that is matter here is that if you have a lot of user, right? So you will have different kinds of devices, different kinds of manufacturers, Samsung, Xiaomi, and so on, so right? And people will have 8 GB RAM, 4 GB RAM, in fact 2 GB RAM in many cases, right? So you need to cater all these things. You don't have to think about 1 million and so on, so right? So for the Android, scale is that scale, right? Your application should be running on low end device as well, and across all the Android versions and so on, so right? So that is something is important from the Android scale. So when someone is saying 1 million user, doesn't make sense actually, right? So from that angle, we don't have to learn the system design of the Android specific. Otherwise, it's a endless loop once again, right? So that I will again recommend everyone to avoid that. Please avoid that, right? From the Android perspective, right? Client side, what we have to do is important. So for example, in the WhatsApp, you are going to build, for example, OTP login system, right? So there you should know that there are services like Firebase OTP or Twilio, some companies are there, right? That flow you should understand that I will take the phone number from the user and that phone number I will send to my backend. Backend will trigger the SMS to the device. And I will use the SMS retriever to read the SMS. So that SMS retriever thing is important for you, right? So that is important for you, not that scale of the backend. So that we should take care of. Similarly, in the WhatsApp, if you are building the location sharing feature, how will you do that? One-to-one chat, how will you do that? If I have to build the online offline, right? How we will send the status of this user is online to the server, and server will send back to the another user. If I am opening the WhatsApp, you all should be you all should be able to see that I am online. How that system is working, what client must do for that, right? That is very important. So you need to understand what components are important on the client side. So here we have two categories again. First is applications like WhatsApp, Spotify, then Instagram stories, nearby friends app, like that. Another category is library, which I have written, right? So for the application category, you must know what API you need from the backend, what APIs. So you can see this mock that I have to replicate. This is a screen that I have to replicate, and this is something I am going to build. So you know what data we need from the backend, right? So first thing that you will do this client side requirement, what you need on the client side. Then you are going to have this that what is needed to be built for that, right? The requirement, the client side components. So for example, requirements could be very simple. For WhatsApp, requirement could be one-to-one chat. I just want to build a one-to-one chat where logged in users should be able to chat. As simple as that. And there is one important thing that we need to observe is that if I am asking WhatsApp, most likely I'm focusing on the one-to-one chat. If I'm asking Twitter, right, design Twitter, I'm more interested in that feed of the Twitter, because if I have to ask one-to-one chat, I will ask WhatsApp, right? So when someone is asking Twitter, first you should start with the main value proposition of that application, right? Twitter main focus is this post, not the messaging, right? Similarly for the LinkedIn, main focus is the feed as of now, right? Things will keep on changing, right? Instagram, feed. Later we have then stories. If someone wants to ask a story, they will directly ask Instagram stories. They will not ask Instagram, right? If they are asking Instagram, they are asking means that feed. So as a good developer, use as many apps. While using the apps, observe. That is very important. Observe so that you understand about the product. Otherwise, everything will be new for you. That what is Instagram story? We might not know that, right? I'm sure most of you know that. Great. But we need to start using the application. While using, we need to observe. What you need to observe, that I will tell you. So for example, in the Instagram story, you open the Instagram home page, and now you click on that story, anyone stories, those who have posted. So once you click on that, you must observe and you must realize that there is no loading at all. Otherwise, as a general developer, if you're going to build that, once I click on that, we will fetch the data and then I will show the loading and then storage will come. But Instagram is pre-fetching those storage. And now think about the scenario. We have thousands of posters, those who have posted the Instagram stories. Should I pre-fetch everything? The answer is no, because you will end up fetching more than what is needed, right? You will fetch 1 MB unnecessarily. Should I avoid fetching? The answer is again no. If you avoid fetching, you will show the loading. So that is why I am saying you should observe when you are using any application. So that loading observation is very important. You never see the loading there. No API call. Directly you see the data. So they have made the balance. Some data they will fetch, like if all the users are there, for every user they will fetch 2 or 3 stories, something like that, right? 3 stories are more than enough, even though someone has posted 10 stories. Now when you click on that, you will see all those stories which were pre-fetched, and then you will see that internally it will load all those stories left and right, like that. So observe what you are using, right? Observe the app from the first principle that you are using this application as a first time user. So for example, WhatsApp, welcome screen will be there. I'll put the phone number, OTP verification. I will land on the screen where I need to start the chatting, right? So this flow you need to build before the chatting, right? The login flow complete. So this is how you will do for the applications. The requirements should be very clear, and requirement you can judge based on the what application they have asked you to build, right? And then you will decide the components like login component, chat component, database component, offline feature component, and so on, so right. And then finally you must discuss everything about this API requirements, because without API you cannot build your applications. So at least you should be in a position that you are able to discuss that, hey, I need to build this chat one to one. I will need WebSockets for this. I need to build this profile page. I can simply use this HTTP request, right? I don't have to go with the WebSockets. So this is how you can learn all these things. So API categorization is very important. Where will you use the HTTPS normal request, where you are going to use this particular WebSocket, server send events, and so on. So right, so like this, you need to able to categorize all these things. And if you're able to categorize with your logic, you will automatically do great in the interview. So four things: requirements, client components. Uh, See, first thing is requirements. Then we have the client components, and then we have this particular uh, uh, detailing of the components. See, when you are designing this particular thing, WhatsApp, you're not going to elaborate everything about the profile thing. Most likely, you need to deep dive into only the chat features, right? The first is requirements. You should be very clear about it. Second thing that we have with the client components, what components we are going to have. Third thing is the API requirements, for what feature, what type of APIs you are going to use, right? Either it is WebSocket, server send events, or long polling, or normal HTTP requests, right? And the fourth thing is detailing of the client components. In WhatsApp case, you will dive deep into particular thing which is one-to-one chat, right? Similarly, Instagram story, how we can load it faster, right? So like that. For Spotify, they are more interested in how you are going to secure this music when some user has downloading, uh, when they are making it offline. So if someone is making their music offline, so it means that they will be able to transfer from one device to another device. How you are going to protect that, right? How you are going to play the music when the app is not in the foreground, right? So all those use cases you need to cover in that Spotify. Two things important: how will you stream the music and how will you protect the music file. That's it. Otherwise, other things are easier. People will keep on saying that you need to build it for 1 million user. Doesn't matter, right? You all know that. So that is something I wanted to communicate with this example. So first category was the application. Second category that we have is the library, right? So for the library, as I have already built many libraries, you all have seen as well, right? On my GitHub profile. And I have read a lot about the libraries internal. So I know in and out of all these libraries. So for the libraries, most of the time you'll not have the way to make a network call because you don't need that, right? Your libraries are not something which is going to make a network call. So here you will do first the requirements, what you're going to solve with that library. So for example, image loading library, we solve the unresponsive UI, out of memory issues, slow loading issues, right? Already written the blog as well on that. So that we solve, and if keeping all those problem statement that we are going to solve, we can actually design the image loading library by considering the requirements. First thing is requirement. Second thing that you are going to consider here is client components, how you're going to divide all the components, right? And then third, how all the components will work together. And you need to go deep in few of the components, right? So that you need to go. So for example, image loading, people will discuss about the bitmap pooling, right? And we should be very good at explaining all these things, right? So that is something recommended for the this library thing. So here we have four things as I discuss: data structure, machine coding around, Android concept, and system design. Right. So for this Android Kotlin concepts, right? One thing which I do recommend extra for the typical questions like view model and all those questions, right? Which I informed already. And you can search on the internet, you can check my Android interview repository, all those things you can check there. So for the typical questions or how coroutine works, how coroutine is more efficient than the thread or the thread pool as such, right? So for these things, I will recommend that you open your front camera, right? You open your front camera and you speak about that particular topic, right? And you need to focus on. So when you speak, so you can see. So I haven't asked now, okay? So sorry for that. Whenever you want to do that, right? So I will just stop video for everyone. So everyone can stop the video at your end, okay? So I just ask to do whenever you can do later, right? So what you have to do, see, if you see myself now, right? So if you can, I will just stop the screen sharing for some time, right? And now if you see myself, right, on your screen, now I am talking in front of the lens, right? In front of the lens, and I am very, very confident when I speak like this. And now if you see, now I'm talking by looking into the screen and I'm seeing who has joined, who is doing what on the screen. I'm talking to you, right? So with this approach, I am not very confident, as you all can see, right? I should talk like this. I should talk like this in the lens. So that is why I have made a habit that I will talk in front of the lens. My eye should be contacting with the lens. I should not be seeing everyone on the screen, right? When I need to see, I will see that, right? Completely fine. But when I speak like this, I'm more confident and I'll be able to do a lot with this, right? So once you have shown the confidence, right, you will automatically do great in the interview. First thing is the confidence. Agree or not? Everyone tell me. Confidence. Yes or no?
Yes, Amit.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Amit.
So first thing is confidence, that we need to be very confident during the interview. So this is a very good practice, right? And uh, when someone sees me, right? So for example, I have like friends from my school, college, and all those, right? So when they see my videos or when they see now me, right? So they see that how you are able to talk now. In school, I was like introvert. I was talking less, and there were so many issues with me, right? If I can speak confidently, you all can do that, right? So that I completely believe 100%. And now, what was a major disadvantage for me, and I have made that as an advantage for me, right? And now I am teaching, right? And many of my student like school friends are surprised that I teach right now, right? And with this clarity and all these things, I was teaching in the school as well with the clarity, but not with this confidence when I speak in front of the camera and all these things, right? So that was like not a job for me. And now if I am able to do, you all can do. And so this you need to practice. So you need to see the lens, don't see the screen, right? Open the front camera at your end whenever you do later. Open the front camera and then start speaking in front of the screen, in front of the lens. Don't see the screen. Record that, right? So every day you have to do this for 20 minutes. Don't do 5 hours a day. No, right? You don't have to like waste every day some time and you will only do once a day, like in a week. No, this has to be consistent, right? Every day you need to do 10-20 minutes, right? So maybe today you can go through my one of the blog or one of the class, and if you have joined the program, right, one of the class, and then after the class, maybe on the weekend, you just create your notes and have the notes in front of you and just start speaking. So for example, how view model works, right? So in the view model, first we ask the view model provider, which is coming from the view model framework, that hey, view model provider, give me the view model, right? So there I might be passing factory or might not be passing the factory depending on the situation, right? Now view model provider will ask the owner of the view model that hey, do you have, and that is the activity component, right? And then it will ask the view model store and so on, so like that, right? So this is how clear you should be during the explanation, very precise, right? So once you have shown your confidence, right, and I'm pretty sure someone who is taking your interview they will not ask you then difficult question, right? Because they also have the fear. If I ask something difficult, if I get confused who I've asked, they will not want to be in that position, right? So a recommendation for all of you is that you should treat the interview as if you are the teacher and you are explaining it to someone else, right? Don't make it reverse. You are the leader, right? You are something, you are going to change your life and you have to become very confident about it, right? And when you are speaking in front of the camera with confidence, things will change for sure, right? So from next time when you go for the interview, don't fear about anything, right? Think about your life. Why? Who are they to judge us, right? As simple as that. And we realize it over the period automatically, right? So for this, my recommendation will be that think about the situation that yes, I am going to give the interview. I am going to control this. Whatever he or she will ask, I will explain like I am a teacher and he or she is a student. Very simple, right? In some questions you will get here and there, right? But over the period when you keep giving the interview and when you do this practice, watch what I said, that front camera, eye to the lens contact thing, you will do great, right? And that is something I will recommend everyone to do at least 10 minutes. Maybe you can set that every week 5 times, 10 minutes I will do. Saturday, Sunday, I will enjoy with the family, right? I won't do that simply, right? So that is something I am recommending to. Don't take anything hard way, right? Do softly, have some flexible. When you don't make yourself flexible, right, you start losing motivation when you skip something, right? So that flexibility, see, be hard at something where it is needed, but at the same time be flexible enough to change the things if something changes, right? So that if we can do, we will surely do great. Okay, so these are the things that I wanted to discuss in this session. So my recommendation will be that start preparation as early as possible. However you are doing, don't wait that I have joined this company 2 months back. I will have to wait for 1 year so that I can complete 1 year and then I will change the company. No, you should look for opportunity whenever you get the opportunity. See, company is doing the layoff. Are they thinking about you? Tell me everyone, yes or no? Are they thinking about you? The
No,
answer is
sir.
no.
No.
Simple, right? So you should also not think in that way, right? It is very simple. I'm just talking what is practical, the reality, right? So you should stop thinking about it. See, earlier,
Also,
like,
impact of layoff.
right. So earlier, like 10 years back, right? That was the case that this candidate has changed the company frequently. He might not be a good developer, he's just changing, right? Now that is not the case. You provide the value to the company, you convince that why I left the company. See, if you're not liking the work, change your company, right? And if you change the companies like that only, then only you will get something good. Every startup founders are looking for someone who loves their work and they can contribute significantly, right? And for that they are happy to have someone who have changed the job quickly as well, right? And that is how I have hired more than 100 people for companies, right? So it is very simple actually. We don't have to think the traditional way which worked earlier. If you ask your parents now, right, I, I, I'm going to join, for example, Swiggy versus I'm going to join TCS, parents will say TCS. And you know the answer why TCS is not the good company. Swiggy is good, right? Paytm is good. Now if they see on the TV that yes, Zomato is doing something, now our parents will also keep on seeing all these things and they will realize that yes, this is something good. So see what is happening right now in the world. Don't think from the perspective of the traditional what has happened. So if you can convince that why I changed the company, you will do great. So you don't have to wait for that 1 year, 6 months, something like that. Make a plan today itself, right? After this call. And you all can do that. Today is Sunday, you all can do, right? Monday, Tuesday. Don't think that tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I'll make a plan, right? Just have a short plan that this is something I will do. So maybe you can plan Every day I will read one block from outcome school, and I will try to implement if that is something should be implemented. And I will go through one YouTube video or something like that you can plan, and I will solve one DSA problem. And I will learn about system design kind of, right? Or on the weekend if you don't have time. So I think if you can give 10 hours per week at any point in time, right? Either you give 5 hours on the weekend, 10 hours, or you do on the weekdays, 2 hours, 1 hour, like that. So if you can do 10 hours of effort weekly basis, automatically after 6 months, you can ping me anywhere. You can ping me that I'm in a very good position. And for sure that message will be I'm in a good position that I can make sure. And sometimes it will happen that you need to attend functions and so on. So, right. So that is completely fine. Right. So skip that 1 week. Good. Come back. And then from the next week, you should do that. Okay. Someone has asked me to reshare the link. I will share that just a second. In the main, I will reshare the link. So this link you can bookmark all the syllabus and all those things it has. And if you want to see the explanation on all those things of the classes, so that also you can do, right? So this has a demo link as well. If you want to watch how how much depth we need to understand, how we need to learn about the topics, what should be learned, everything I have mentioned in that video as well. So you all can follow that. So this link you can bookmark at your end. Okay, so I will take the questions, whatever we have in the chat, one by one. Okay, so before that, let me complete few more things. Okay. Okay. So most of you might be confused that in the era of LLM and all those things, how things will change, right? Short answer, for the near future, right? For the next 2 years, you need to maximize your salary. No one knows what will happen after 2 to 3 years, right? How things will change, right? So maximize your salary so that even though at some point in time, if you're jobless for 2 or 3 months, it is fine. Otherwise, without maximizing the salary, that is going to hamper later, right? So whatever we can do best now, do best. Change your job in the Android domain. That is the easiest thing for you to do as of now. My answer might change after 2 years, right? But for now, I will say change your. See, there are a lot of companies, there are a lot of developers, right? 100 job, 200 developers, right? 100 job, 200 developers. Now think about this. 50 good jobs, 20 good jobs, right? And 200 developers. So 20 good jobs, 200 developers. Are we not in 20 out of 200? So it means I'm saying, are we not in top 10%? We can do that, right? Whatever I have recommended today, you can be in top 1 or 2%. Again, this is subjective, right? You got the meaning, right? So this is subjective, but yes, learn all these things. Automatically, you will start doing great, right? At least you'll not have the fear of the job, right? So that is more important than anything. Learning is good, having a good job is good, but not having the fear of changing the job, what is happening in the world, right? That is something we need to reach that level, right? So for that, for now, I'll recommend focus on all these things. After 2 years, whatever is needed, you will start. So if you maximize the salary, that will help you in the near future, right? So that is my answer to that. Now, three things which never changes. Three things which never changes in the software technology. So one analogy, which example that I take here is that one journalist asked the Jeff Bezos, Amazon founder, right? What will you do after 10 years? Right? What is your plan for the 10 years? He simply said, I know that world is changing, world will keep on changing, things will keep on changing. That is completely fine. But one more thing I know, what is something that is not going to change? And that I am going to optimize, right? And one team will be there to optimize based on what is changing, right? But my major focus will be what will not change. And there are two things that will never change for the Amazon. Nobody is going to say that today I am getting the product in 2 days. I want the same product in 7 days. Nobody will say. Everybody will want the product in lesser and lesser delivery time. So I should optimize for the delivery time. Whatever changes, but people will want the same product in less time. So I should optimize for the delivery time. Second thing, if something is of 1000 rupees, People will want that at 900 rupees, right? They will not want that same thing at 1500. So I need to optimize the cost. So optimizing the delivery time and optimizing the cost for the Amazon as a principle is helping a lot, right? So whatever decision they take, high level decision they take based on these two things. Otherwise, their Alexa, AI, everything is there. Keep on changing, right? But these two things will never change. That is why Amazon is Amazon, right? So the same analogy I will take in the development. Three things. Uh, threading, threading we have, and then we have the database and the networking. So yes, three things: threading, networking, and databases. So these three things, right, will never change. Whatever you do, think about the Android development, right? When you started in 2010, 15, whenever you started, right? XML is changing to compose, but under the hood, threading, coroutine, everything is threading, right? Coroutine also works on the threading only, right? So this threading thing will never change. So you must learn multi-threading effectively. Learn each and every blog. Learn from each and every book present on the internet. However, nowadays I will not recommend book because it requires a lot of effort. ChatGPT is there. Be curious, ask good question, learn with the ChatGPT, right? And then verify your learning from other GPTs like Grok, Cloud, and so on. So right. So if you combine 3 or 4 GPTs, LLM, you will be able to get good information, good knowledge in depth from all these large language models, right? So that you can do. So that is something I will highly encourage to do. So that is how you can learn threading, databases, or networking. So these three things will never change. In fact, when you move from backend to Android or Android to backend, and I'm not lying this, right? People have moved from backend to Android as well. I know my students as well, and they have done great. And people, and I'm not the advocate of Android here, right? Whatever you want to learn based on your countries, your situation, you should learn and independently, right? That you should do. So for example, for the backend, if you want to move, right? So threading, networking, and database will never change. That will be intact. In fact, if you do the machine learning, right? There also, if you have a good knowledge of database, networking, and threading, you will do great. Anything, backend, frontend, machine learning, data science, these three things will always be there. So focus on which will never change, right? And if we are good at all these three things, right? And if you think about the production issues that we face, more or less they are coming from these things. Smaller issues we can fix, right? UI and all this thing, that is completely fine. But bigger issues where it takes time for all of us, they are coming from threading, databases, integrity, and the networking. Tell me everyone, yes or no? Am I correct or not? Tell me.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, Amit.
So we must learn these three things, right? Effectively. However you want to learn, learn it. But these three things are going to be very, 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 very important for all of us, whatever you do, right? So make sure that we are learning all these three things anyway, right? So you should learn that. Now, so this was about like for the chat GPT, right? Some people ask that what will happen after like 3 years, 5 years, right? See, one question I will ask to everyone: who needs more knowledge? Those who is writing the code or those who is reviewing the code? Tell me. Code reviewer or code writer?
Code
Reviewer.
reviewer.
Code reviewer.
Code reviewer.
Code reviewer, right? Code reviewer. So that is why in your company, in any company, most of the company, code reviewer will be the team lead. They are paid more than junior developers, right? How things will change from my perspective, what how I am seeing. I interact with a lot of companies, what they are doing, why they are doing the layoff, and I have that data, and I love analyzing all those things. I might be correct in the future. I will see if I'm correct or not. But right now, my way of thinking, seeing the world is like this. See, if a company is having 10 Android developers, right? 10 Android developers. In the future, they will have 3, 7 they will remove, right? Again, I am saying you have to be in the top 1%. If you're in the top 1%, you will do great in any domain, right? In any domain. So that we should be in that, and I'm here to help you with that, right? So I know that whatever it is, not more than 1% of the Android developer might be knowing in the world I'm talking about. 1% is a huge number, I'm saying, right? So those who learn from me, they only know all these things like difficult internals and all these things. Otherwise, people are just going through on the high level, and most importantly, it is to change your mindset. If you come and ask me that Amit, teach me the XML, I won't teach, right? I am very clear about what I teach and what I don't teach, right? So that is something you should learn, right? But if I am able to change your mindset that you're more focusing on the threading, database networking, and how much depth you are going while learning from the source code and all those things, I have achieved my goal, because I know that that is something will create the impact. Not teaching you how to create the layout in Jetpack Compose, but teaching you how Jetpack Compose works internally will definitely help you, right? So, and how much depth we should go while learning this and how to learn that. That is going to be more important than teaching how to create the layout. So that's why I won't teach how to create the layout in Jetpack Compose, right? So that is something how I do the things differently, right? So after few years, how the things will change, right? So I believe that 10 developers are there in the company right now. That will become 3. 7 will be removed. They will go fine, right? So that is good, right? And that will happen. What 3 will do? One will be a very good coder, reviewer, I am saying, right? And reviewer will be from all of us, those who are here, right? Those who are experienced, because those who are coming right now, right now in the market from the freshers, they are not able to code because of this large language model. So how they will review the code? To be a good reviewer, you need to learn the internals, how things have changed. You have to be have the experience with the production issues, right? So you all are in a very great position actually, because you all know how to code with your hand. You can type and code, right? And you can visualize all those things. What junior developer will do? They will just prompt. Code will be generated. But code generation happens in the context, in the isolation. But when you connect the complete code, like generated at 5 places, and when you visualize, right? See, we write the code and we push. But the code reviewer has to see from the context that how this will behave, because this is connected with this particular code base, right? This class is connected to some class written in different package, right? So overall picture is very important for the code reviewer. But that overall picture can only comes with the experience, right? And we are in a very good position that we are having experience. Those who are coming right from the college, they will not have the experience, right? Because they are learning from the chat GPT, and they can just have the good prompt. So they will prompt. They will be a prompter. Two developers will be prompting. One developer will be responsible for what is going in the production, and that will be one, and that will be paid 3x, 4x of now, right? So that is something I am seeing in the near future. So we are going to have a very good time, because we are in a very good position to be a good reviewer. And after 10 to 10 years, we will see that ChatGPT can review after 10 years. That can happen, right? But ultimately, do you think that right now PhonePe will allow ChatGPT to finally completely push the code to production? No, right? There has to be a human reviewer. So that we have to be a very good code reviewer, and for that we need to learn the internals. For that we need to be a very good coder, that we can visualize all the components together and we can pinpoint this is the issue. So one developer will be responsible for shipping the code after reviewing into the production, and that will be paid highly, 2x, 3x of what they are getting now. And those two developers will be just prompting, and that is completely fine. So if we are experienced developer, we have to become that code reviewer. Put that effort to become that code reviewer, right? Very, very important for all of us to like become that code reviewer, right? So that is something how things will change. And to be a good code reviewer, as I said, what will not change? Threading, database, networking. And this is how you can become a great reviewer, and you can actually ship code to the production by reviewing properly. Because most of the issues we face around this threading, networking, and the databases, right? Agree or not, everyone? Tell me with my opinion,
Yes.
what I am saying.
Yes, I believe
Agree.
in confidence.
Agree.
So,
And
so this is how you need to
Yes, yes.
execute the things, right? Okay, now I will see the chat and I will keep answering, right? Okay, so this is fine. Uh, Dharmveer, you have asked about the DSA again. What I will do, I will share the recording so that you can message on this number, right? For the recording. We might take some time, but we will do. You can remind again, right? Don't think that you are pushing hard to us, right? Just remind that, hey, I need this link, right? So that is completely fine. You can ask, right? But this is the number that you need to ping. Then someone asked why, that is fine. I'm just taking the questions from here. What is your take on the getting offers to negotiate? Huh. Next question was what is your take on the salary negotiations, right? So if you have to reach from 10 to, for example, 20 to 40, if you have to reach, for example, I'm thinking 20 to 40. So what will you do? Simply 20 to 40 means you need to have three offers, right? And I have seen this working again and again with my students, right? And for that we need patience, first of all, right? And so 20 to 40 means intermediate offers we should have. And if we have some intermediate offers, right, then only we can reach 40. Otherwise, if you ask 20 to 40, they will say, what you're asking. I'm talking about most of the cases, not some extraordinary. Extraordinary means one of my student cracked 20 to 60, right? And he works at Delivero, uh, Hyderabad, right? Recently he joined 20 to 60, right? Just because of the confidence, like he actually followed what I mentioned in this particular, right? He exactly followed. If I have to say that what you need to follow, just follow what I have said in this class, right? He followed. What he did, he practiced. Instead of practicing, he did one extra thing here, that whatever he used to learn from my classes, he goes to office on the Monday and he will explain about that thing to the other developers. And I'm very happy that he was sharing that knowledge to the other developers in his companies, right? And then all those developers actually joined my batches, right? So that is how we should think about the impact. Teaching layout and all the things is not going to help us at any cost. Change the mindset, right? And now 20 to 60 is a great outcome, right? So that is extraordinary case. I must say that extraordinary lucky case as well, right? But he was eligible for that. 100% I am sure about that because of his knowledge he was eligible. I think 5 years of experience jumped from 20 to 60. Now let's talk about how you can do 20 to 40. Just an example, then you can replicate the same thing for 10 to 20, right? Again, the base is knowledge, right? Base is not this salary, paisa, money, right? Base is knowledge that should be translated to that CTC number, right? Otherwise, if we are intelligent, why we are not happy with our life, right? Very simple. And this hits hard to me as well, right? So this I keep in my mind. If I have done IIT, means I have done something good, right? So why I am not able to do this? So that's how I take the challenge, right? And that is why whatever I am today, right? And definitely I must improve whatever I am doing, and I will keep on improving. This is just a starting journey for me as well, similarly for all of you. So let's say now you need to jump from 10 to 10 to, for example, sorry, 20 to 40. So what will you do? You will first not ask 40, and also you need to do a lot of research which company actually gives irrespective of your previous salary. Companies like Gojek, I know. Companies like Deliveroo, right? So they have given, right? So they have given that. That's how I know. I'm not sure how things will change, but right now they have done that. Now you need to research on that. What is their budget first? You will try to have the conversation in such a way with the recruiters that what is your budget? You tell me, right? Or you should try to have the conversation in such a way that you take the interview and we will see based on the interview what I deserve. That is the best case. Ask the budget, first case is the best case. If not possible, try to do in a way that we will see after the interview. Based on what I deserve, we can discuss on that, right? In most of the cases, that is not going to work. That's why I want to be practical again in this case. So there you need to research about the companies, somewhere Glassdoor, LinkedIn, you can ping developers, and however you want to do the research, because that is also an exercise. So if you get some range number, right? Again, 40 they will not pay, right? You have done that research. So first you need to have a offer around 27, 28 or 30. So you should ask for 30, right? And then let's see the reaction on the call. So you should be a very good negotiator. You should be able to judge from their tone, right? And HR recruiters are very clever, right? So they will say that this is my last offer. We are not going to negotiate. They will negotiate, right? That is something we need to accept. How, who are they to convince us that I should accept this? No, right? We should not accept that. We should be we should be in a position that ball is in my plate. First, make your mind that I am not going to join this company. First, once you make the mind that I am going to join this company and this company, you are on the back foot. You are on the back foot. So let's say if I have to buy a home now, right? And if I go in the market and if I say that this house is really, really good and I am only interested in this. So they will say this is of 6 crore, 7 crore, right? And when I say that this is okay, I will wait for some time and see how market changes. They will come that, yes, now the price has reduced, some offers, this and this, right? I'll be okay that, okay, fine, right? I think this is of a value of 4.5 crore, not 6 crore. I think that, right? It is completely your opinion that you don't think that you want to charge 6 crore. Charge, sell it to someone else. But my amount, my number is 4.5 crore for that. So I will give that. I know my numbers, right? In between that, I can go with 5, 5.2. So accordingly, I will do the conversation. But once I saw the complete 100% interest in that, I am on the back foot. Similarly, for any companies, don't be eager to join any company, right? Once you are eager, you are on the back foot. So that is something you need to accept it. Don't go on the back foot. And also, when you're expecting something from the company, if you don't get that, you'll feel demotivated, right? So the better way to leave it, right? And simply think that something comes. If I really feel good about it, I will join it, right? So that is something we need to follow. Now, if you know that yes, just companies can give around 27, 30, ask for 30, try to get the offer of 25, 26, whatever they can offer, right? But offer letter is important, right? Even if you're not joining, but having the offer letter in your hand is going to be very, very, very important for you. So that offer letter you must have, right? So now you have an offer letter of 26, for example. Don't join. Date doesn't matter, right? If you have cracked means you have gained the confidence. And that is more important than anything in this world, right? Confidence. Now, when new companies come, right? Ask for 35 because you already have 26. So 32, 34, you can actually crack. You will give 5 companies interview, one you will crack, right? So this is how you need 2 intermediate offer or 3 intermediate offer to reach 40 in practical scenario. In most of the cases I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the lucky case. Lucky case, I have seen 5 to 33, 18 to 72. So those are extraordinary cases. Not everyone can do this. But being practical, having the patience is very important. So for example, one of my student, I'll not name now, right? So he works at JP Morgan. So you can judge as well who is he, right? So it's completely fine. So he was at around 14 LPA, 1 4, and then he joined JP Morgan with around 40, 36, 40 around. Now increase 45, 50 now might be, but 14 to 36 he has joined, and in between he had the offer of Ola Electric. Ola Electric offered 28. Who will not join that company when he is having 14, 1 4 now, and he gets the offer of 28? Anybody will join that double salary, right? But I was the person who asked him, hey, don't join this company, right? We will see what happens. Everyone said, his colleague, his parents, that what you are doing, whom you are following, right? But I was knowing the potential of that student, right? I said wait. After that he cracked 2 3 more offers. Time it took, but now joining 28 plus now operating at 40 45 LPA, life changing moment, right? And I'm not just saying this, right? This is an inspiration for all of us to have patience, to believe in your mentor. First thing, right? If I am believing in you, you should believe in me as well, right? And there are students, right? So there are students who I will say that yes, hey, don't join this company. But they will have some fear that what if new company doesn't offer anything, right? Extra, I should join. They will join it. And I am happy with that. Doesn't matter for me, right? But the most important thing is you need to believe in yourself first and also in your mentor, right? Have a mentor, those who can guide you. And those who are my students, I personally guide them. And few of you are already here in this, here as well. And I am sure that, right, we have like many reviews and all those things on the website. You can talk to them if you want to talk to them, right? And now you know who I am, right? I'm interacting more than 2 hours with all of you. So that is how you will plan. But if you join something in hurry, 28 ka offer after 14 to 28, right? Maybe you are losing 20 lakhs in a year after 2 to 3 years. And that will happen. So think mathematically. It is your life. You need to maximize your CTC. Again, the basis knowledge. So that is how you can do. So salary negotiation, any negotiation, right? You need to be on the front foot. Hey, if I am getting this, fine. If I'm not getting this, completely fine. Huh. So someone has asked, does all the things mentioned in this doc also applicable for 1 to 2 years of experience? Definitely yes. Think about the case that someone is having 10, 20 years of experience and you are learning the same things now. You will transform your life, right? And if you think that these are not important for you, then same path you will follow after 10 years. You will also have 12 LPA, 13 LPA. Same thing, right? That is something I will recommend you to like avoid. So whatever I mentioned here, so these things I teach, and you can see how I teach in this video link, right? Everyone can see. I have shared this link as well. In this, you have this particular link. So this link also I can copy. Okay, so this document you will have, right? So in this, you have this link. So that level of understanding is very important that whatever you are doing, even though if you are just having 1 year of experience, right? I have seen people 1 year of experience jumping from 5 to 33. Why they jumped? Why? The reason was this. They learned all these things without thinking that this is important for me. These are important for you. And now this will be more important for all of you, right? So just simple thing, right? When you go for interview, right? When you take the interview, think from the other side of the table. When you take interview, unless and until if you're working at the Google, you are working at other companies, right? So there are things, right? People will not have the time to prepare for the interview. People will not have the time to prepare for the interview. Those who are taking the interview. So whatever they are working on what thing they are working, view model, Kotlin, MVVM, right? So they will ask wherever they have faced issue, they will ask those scenario based question to you. They will not think that whether you are 1 year, 2 years experience. They want the outcome. Right now, how the things are changing in this world, we will have to do a lot of things, right? So Jay Patel, I have seen what you have asked. So you can drop me a message on that number. I'll send all the details, right? So there are details. So Jay Patel, you can message me. Okay. Now I want Pankaj has asked, I wanted to switch companies, but recently started ramping up on the native Play Store and so this is uh, but I'm not getting time to prepare, balance. See, timing issues I cannot solve. You need to find out time. The only way which I can recommend here is that see how it happens. You go to companies, office, you get exhausted. In the evening, you come and you sleep. Everyone. And this is good, right? No issue in this. And if you start reading something in the night, we are already exhausted, right? So find a time when nobody is going to disturb. When nobody is going to disturb, find a time. At that time is the morning time. Maybe in the morning 8 to 10, 8 to 9, 1 hour, just 1 hour find out, right? Because at that time, nobody is going to ping you because nobody is awake. Nobody has started working for the company. Once you in are in the time where companies are operating, right? So it means they will disturb you. they will disturb you, right, once you are in that zone. So during the company's hour, you're not going to learn what you wanted to learn at your end, right? After that, you are already exhausted. So my recommendation, before that, whatever you want to do, execute it, right, before that. So that is my recommendation. Subham has asked, Subham, is it compulsory to have 2 to 3 application in our portfolio? No. The reason is very simple. Play Store portfolio is not important. For the GitHub, you can have definitely, because that will showcase your skill set, that you know all this latest technology, that will build the confidence, right? So that is fine. See, you are a founder. If someone is having 10 years of experience, right? Will you actually want to see something he has posted on the Play Store? You will be more interested what problems he has solved for the companies, right? That's how we need to think. If you're an intern, fresher, application on the Play Store will help you. Experienced people, code, experience, GitHub project will help you more than anything. Okay, so Shivani asked, when we have some questions in the interview which are not familiar, how can we respond? A difficult question for me as well, this one. When we have something in the interview which we cannot respond to, I will recommend say that I'm not sure about it. So let's pass that question. That is a better way. Someone has asked, my classes are recorded. Yes, in my program, 6 month program that goes for 7 to 8 months. Obviously, the nature of the program where I put a lot of effort. I want everyone to learn, so I give some break as well so that people can cover backlog. Yes, so in that I record as well. So as I have mentioned here as well, right? So recordings will be done. Okay. Shivani has asked, okay, done. Is it compulsory to have that? Now let me check Bipin. Classes timing generally I do in the night. Now I am doing 6:30, but something like that, right? 6:30 to 8:30 night. Sunday I'm doing. I might do on Saturday new batches and all these things. That is completely fine. I apply to many companies, not getting calls. I can't solve that because everybody is applying to many companies, right? If everyone is applying, means no one is given priority. How to make it like visible, right? For that, you need to build a portfolio. Portfolio means GitHub, LinkedIn. You need to showcase your knowledge, right? So yesterday I took that portfolio building session for my program, right? So that I have done for my program. Sayan has asked, I'm having 3 years of experience in mobile and past 1 year in Flutter, but I wanted to work in continuing Android. Tell me without any project in the company. See, when you are working on working at a company, you must work on the project what is given to us. So if it is Flutter, anything is there, but your main focus should be on the threading, networking, and database, right? And in parallel, you should have a project like this new app, right? This you should build definitely, and this I help building from the scratch in my program, step by step. Those who are interested, and I leave it up to the students that if they don't want to do, they can skip this. So something like this you need to do, and that you will keep on updating in the future. So that is going to help you. How to deal with the notice period of 90 days, right? So the reason is very simple here, that we don't put the paper because we are not confident whether will I get the job in 90 days or not, right? So find the root cause. Why we are not putting the paper today? To make ourselves available in the market, right? We are not confident that we will be able to crack something in 90 days, right? So that data we need first. That confidence, how much confidence we are, that data we need. So for that, we might have to lie to the companies or something we'll have to do. So apply to random companies, say that I have a notice period of 15-30 days, give the interviews where you do not want to join. See, solve for your life, not for others. There is no wrong doing here, right? Apply to those companies, give the interview, salary fine, whatever they are saying, right? And see, if you're giving 10 companies interview, are you able to qualify two? And in how many days you are getting 10 companies? So now if you have the data that within a month or within 3 months, I get 10 companies call and I'm able to crack 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 10, sorry, 3 out of 10. If I'm able to crack that, I am confident. So next 3 months, I can put the paper and when I'm on the notice period, I can do that, right? So this is how you will do. In some cases, what will happen is that if you qualified for the companies and now you are saying that 90 days, My companies will not agree. In that case also, I have seen company will ask you after 90 days to come. That is a very good case if you're lucky. So like that, you need to do that. How to do open source, that I do in the program, right? So that I won't do for this, right? A lot of things is there, right? Live classes, yes, my program is live classes, which is more important. And I do not refer any students, right? Because I'm a teacher, right? That is my main superpower, right? So I don't refer. In some cases, I ask other students to refer someone else, right? So informally, I do that, but formally, I don't commit. So I do not want to over commit anything, right? So that's why I want to do that. Okay. Okay. For the recordings, you all can ping on this number which is here, right? So you all can ping. Save the number and ping me. Pankaj has asked. Okay, this Flutter I have already given answer. See, if you have multiple offers, then next company will ask why you're not joining with the current offer. How to tackle this question? Reason is simple. Be truth. You say that I have upskilled myself in the last 6 7 months, and now I know that I deserve that 40 offer, right? 10 out 10 out of 20 companies will reject for the interview. Completely fine. There are lakhs of millions of companies, and you need only one companies that is giving you 40, right? So don't think that there are many less companies. There are companies when you have knowledge, and that will definitely work, right? And obviously things are difficult, life is difficult, and this is something not easy to do, right? Based on where you are, what position you into, right? Next question is, I have worked in Android with Kotlin and currently jobless. I have decided to give myself 3 months to market ready. Provide a roadmap. Just follow this whatever I have mentioned here. In addition to this, work on building your portfolio. Why I am saying that? Because if you and other candidate is pinging someone on the LinkedIn that hey, refer me, why did they should refer you, or they should refer him or her over you? There should be some differentiating factor, and that differentiating factor is confidence in you, right? And you can show the confidence in you by having some really good project on the GitHub, or some things that you share on the LinkedIn, right? Don't use ChatGPT to share anything on the LinkedIn, right? ChatGPT means you have copy pasted simply. That is how world sees now. Things will change in the future, but right now, whenever you see that ChatGPT, that green tick, that yellow emoji, and all those things, and you know what I mean here, right? They are copy pasted from the ChatGPT. So when I see those posts or anyone, in fact, I do not scroll Twitter, I do not scroll LinkedIn. You all might be thinking that I am very active on LinkedIn, but I only see the sometimes notification, sometimes message, right? And what I see, what is important for me, right? So that's why you see I never comment here and there. I know I'm clear about what I want to do. So same thing. Don't use emoji in your post. Don't use emoji in project readme and so on. So right. So that is a different thing, right? So be professional and build the confidence in other people that yes, given the opportunity, I can provide more value by showing your projects on the GitHub. As a fresher, how much Android dev should be expecting, right? As a fresher, so let's say 0 year, 1 year's experience, right? I think if you can really do all those things which I am recommending as of now, plus building the portfolio, additional thing, right? So you can do 12, 14 LP in India, right? We need patience for that, but that is doable. 12, 14. And I'm being practical. In general case, lucky case 2025 you can do. Unlucky, you are not doing anything, people will hire you for 3 lakhs as well, right? And I know many developers, 2.4 lakhs, 2 lakhs per year, right? That is not something we should be in a situation, right? So you should target 20 kind of, right? And see how the market is behaving, and then 12, 13. See, for that you need 3 to 4 offers, right? So I think you should settle around 12 to 15, and that I have seen with good those who have done all these things what I am recommending, plus 10% of portfolio building, right? So one of my student, I think I forgot the name, sorry for that. He was able to do same thing with 10% of portfolio building, uh, 12 LPA. That remote offer means 15 LPA when you go to the companies, right? 3 lakhs expenses you can think about. So that is why I am saying 12 to 15 is the range. I am jobless for due to company layoff October. How can we tackle the interview? See, right now everyone knows that people are jobless in this market, right? So no need to worry about this. You need to execute during the interview with the confidence. So don't overthink about the jobless thing. Otherwise, we will waste our time in thinking that. Just 3 months, isolate, learn. Next 3 months, build your portfolio. 6 to 8 months, practical time. I'm not saying that everything will change in 2 months, 1 month. No, it will not happen, right? 6 months, 8 months, it will take. Consistent effort, if you keep on doing, that is going to help you. Someone has asked, with 5 to 6 years of experience, what should be the CTC in India, right? 5 to 6 years of experience, I think 35, 40 you should target, right? See, people are from good college as well. They can turn 60, 70 LP as well. That is fine. I'm talking about normal colleges and cases, right? So 35, 40 you should target. Must you must target, right? 30 for sure, right? If you're getting less than 30 means we have to do something. And based on market also, I'm saying if you have asked the same question before 2 years, I would have said 40, 45. But right now, I think companies are hesitating to go above 30, 35. So that is something I am recommending. So that you can do. My project is getting over in 1 month. So I have 1 month notice period first. See, 1 month, very difficult to turn the things, right? So if you are thinking that in 1 month I will change my life, you are going to be demotivated within the next 20 days. 100% write it down. Okay. So think that I will change my life in 3 to 4 months. If something changes before, I'm lucky. Great. Who doesn't need that, right? So plan 3 to 4 months, execute accordingly, have that urgency in place. And if something happens in 3 to 4 days, 3 to 4 months, great. If something happens in 1 month, that is also great. So for 3 to 4 months is bare minimum, right? For good, something good. 5 to 6 years, 30 to 40 LPA, product based companies, right? And product based companies will give. I have 9 years of experience, but given 6 to 7 interview, not selected. Find out the feedback. Were you confident? Like, did you explain all the things in depth how they wanted? Right? I don't think so. Right? So become a teacher during the interview. Take control of that, and to take control of that, you will have to learn effectively all these things. What I have recommended. Right? First, we need to find out the root cause. Right? If you are very good at interview explaining, very good, right? So give the interview. Maybe they have taken the interview. They're not interested in hiring right now, maybe because of your CTC. So find out the root cause. If learning is the issue, explanation is the issue, these things can help you. Which type of project? So this, uh, see, any project that has good architecture, following the latest Android stack is good to have on the GitHub. Is Android, so someone has asked, constant thing. See, I'm not saying that you just learn native or React Native or Flutter, right? You should learn based on your situation. So let's say you are living in Pune and you do not want to change your job location, right? Pune. So research that how many companies are in the Pune who are hiring for Android native, hiring for React Native, hiring for Flutter, right? So very simple. You will have the data. If most of the companies are React Native, learn React Native. So that is how you need to optimize. So again, I say I'm not the advocate of Android native. So what will work for you, I will suggest that, right? And I am very frank about it. So research from that. See, someone has asked, give me the best Jetpack Compose learning site. There is no meaning of best, right? I'll be very frank about it. Best means from where you can understand. From where you can understand. So that is your best, right? Best cannot be for everyone. I will recommend Android documentation plus ChatGPT. Collaborate both and keep asking curious question. Otherwise, just following the video or anywhere, right? How to create the layouts, you're not going to learn the Jetpack Compose. Ask ChatGPT that what are the production issues that people faces while using the Jetpack Compose. You must know those 10 production issues. If you know that, you will be able to like build confidence around the Jetpack Compose. Otherwise, layout, lazy column, so on, so on. Even I don't know how to create the layout. Hmm. Hmm. Ronak has asked 9. Okay, 9 years of experience. Someone. Okay, okay. I am. Okay, so Ronak, you have my number. You can ping me directly. Okay, because I have taken your name. I won't answer for now. Right. Hmm. For 8 years of experience, what do companies see? People have asked that what is for the lead level and what is for the architect level, right? So I will recommend you learn everything in depth. Don't think that if I'm going for the lead role, architect role, things will be different, right? But if you want something different answer, one addition in that, I will recommend learn more and more about the solid principle and the system design. So system design is more important than anything for the higher level of experience. System design effectively. Okay, Ronak, I will definitely answer, right? So you can just remind me tomorrow. Don't do today because today I will get a lot of messages here and there. So that's why. System design question into how to tackle it. I do that in the class, and also I have written a blog on that, right? System design. So you can go on the website and search system design, and here only you will get, right? System design. So this system design I have mentioned how to go about this. Someone has asked, I answered. Okay, so one specific question is there that I will skip for now. I know those who can ping me directly. I'll skip that question. Someone asked me the question about the Android, how you look 1 million. As I said, 1 million users are not something that we should tackle on the Android side. That should be on the backend, definitely. Crashes and all those things, how I can make the application run on wide ranges of devices are important. So most important thing will be the crash-free user plus how you are catering all those Android different versions. Right? So that is something should be done. How much I can expect with 11 years of experience with average college, right? It depends on where you are right now. That is also, but within 2 years, wherever you are, right? Within 2 years, you can change your life and you can make it around 50, right? Because 2 years is a very good time to make 50 wherever you are. In fact, you are at 10, 12, 13, 14, 20, you can make it 50, right? If you are at 40, you should target 60, right? So if you are at a very good number right now, also, you should target 40% hike on that. But if you are around, okay, he said he's around 24. So I think 50 to 60 is a very good number within 2 years. Within 1 year, you should target around 40. So notice period I have mentioned. Okay, so Nitin, you have my number. You can ping me. How to be a part of your mentorship? You can just go through this document, which I have referred today as well, right? So this I have done for my students. So this is a demo video, first class video, not a demo, original class video, right? You can see how I teach, right? And you know how I explain from this call as well, right? A lot of things already put on the internet. So this document, as I have shared in the group as well, right? So if you want, I can reshare this, right? So reshare this, and here you will have what? That WhatsApp number. After watching this video, you can message us on this number. We will take it forward from there. But first, I will recommend that I want to be very sure who is joining my program, right? They should be a good learner. They should put effort. So once you watch this video, right, I can get the confidence that yes, you can watch the video, right? So that is something very important. So that is why this step is mandatory. You can lie about this, completely fine. You are lying about yourself initially. What is this LLM, large language model? So that should not be discussed in this call. I will skip that. Uh, Play Store suspension is not something I should discuss. Yes, I will share the videos. AIDL, all these things I cover in the classes. LRU cache I cover. That I cover. So their answer I have given. I'm just checking all the questions. Job platform, not something we'll discuss now. So one of the student has asked that does the product-based companies ask recruit from the service company, right? So that framework you need to apply. Which company you are at, where you want to go, look for similar 20 candidates on the LinkedIn and see how they have navigated in their journey, right? So for example, Swiggy might hire from TCS, Infosys, Accenture, but Gojek might not hire from all these companies. So you need to first go to those intermediate companies. So find that ladder by researching. And that research is really good to do. You will get more and more motivations to do. According to India IT market, what should be the salary for 8 years of experience, right? 8 plus. Depends on your current salary as well. If you're not from good college, at least it should be around 30-40 ka range. That bare minimum it should be. 3.5 years of experience, right? Target around 20, but your current salary is 4. You cannot target 20. So you need to first target around 10. First cross that 10 bar. So within 2 years, you should target around 25. But first bar should be that 12, 13 ka offer. Cross 10, right? Focus on that. I should reach that number first. Sasikant, yes, those questions we will not cater in this. Yes, Deep, you can leave the class if you want to. Fine. I have answered this. Rakesh. Career path opportunity to the mobile developers having 7 to 8 years of experience. Should I learn native, hybrid, or what? Right? Very simple. Where you are, what is your job location preference? Research about 100, 200 companies. Find the data. What type of companies you are eligible at? So, for example, right now, if I am in Infosys, I cannot think about Google. I should think bigger, but I have to be practical as well. So, from that aspect, I am saying think that yes, these are the companies where I am eligible. I can give interview and then see what is there in the job description, right? So accordingly, you should prepare. So there is no direct answer for that. Still, my package is 13. Same company asked that package less. Now I am asking 30, 40. That is fine. That you should ask. Uh, Kotlin KMP future is promising, right? So that Kotlin multi-platform is going to be promising. Not now, but after 1 year, that will be more, right? So that I am seeing. So that is good thing. That question I have answered already. Yes, Jay, in my program, mock interviews are there. You can see on the websites as well, right? So here you can see what is there. All these things, right? So all these things you can see. Everything, whatever I have written, I do that, right? In fact, what I have written here is under committed, right? I do more than that. One of the students has asked 6 LPA, 2 years of experience. What should be the expected with first? I think you should target 20. 6 you have, you will end up around 15, 16 if you have patience. Kotlin multi-platform is the first thing, right? After that, whatever we have, that Kotlin multi-platform is more important. And then they're similar, right? So that you can do. But Kotlin multi-platform is going to be more important. First step is that. Swift supporting Android. Uh, for now, I'll not comment on that. Things might change, how that is evolving. So once I'm sure about something, I do that. Okay, I have. So Jaydeep, you have my phone number. You can ping me for the answers. Okay. Android Automotive. Someone has asked, right? I think Android Motive is a very small selected companies which are working on that. If you are living in that area, if there those companies are available, you should focus on that. Otherwise, you should always focus on the general Android product based companies, right? So that I will recommend to do, right? So that is something you should do. How to make recruiters wait after getting selected, right? So see, you can't control that. You can't control that recruiters will wait for you. They will not wait for you, right? But one thing I am sure that hiring is a very difficult process for the companies as well, right? Say that I have 60 days notice period, I will join after 60 days. If you can wait, fine. If no, fine. You can't do anything. But what I'm sure is that hiring is very difficult. 60-70% chance they will come back after 60 days. Based on data, I am saying. Because finding good developers is very difficult. Hmm. Uh, 3 point, huh. So he has asked that my 3.5 years of experience, my current CTC is 4. What should I do? So I will recommend for that your first switch should be around 12-13. And for that, you need 2 to 3 offers. I think easily you can get 8-9 ka offer, and then second offer 13, 12-13. That you should join. Don't join anything less than that. So that I will recommend to do. But for that, we need a very, very, very next level of patience, because motivation and all we lose by seeing LinkedIn, Instagram, so and so. People are always happy, right? But that is not the case. You should think about your thing, that yes, somehow you can post the message in the chat. So that is easier for me right now, right? So do that if you have any questions. Can you share any Android resume to follow? I will. So if you have my phone number, or ping on that number, right? If I find something, I will share that. Okay. With 3 point, huh? Okay. 90 days notice period means first you need to, as I answer, 90 days notice period means first you need to get the confidence, and then you can put the paper around that, right? So that you should do. Okay. So I have answered everyone in the chat. If any question is there, you can ping in the chat and just let me know. Okay, hers, or yes. So that was all about the session that I wanted to discuss. How was the session? Everyone enjoyed? Tell me.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Huh,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
good.
Yes,
Good.
sir, enjoyed a lot.
One question, one very good question is there. So that I will take now. One very good question. I'm currently working at XYZ company, right? I'll just rename that to XYZ. With the current CTC of 34, with the current CTC of 34, I want to switch. I'm not strong in DSS since it was not the focus, obviously. So I worry about the rejection. Should I consider offer from a smaller startup? See, offer from any company will work, but if you're at 34 LPA right now, you should focus on grabbing something around 50, right? So, but if you're targeting 50, you cannot just avoid data structure and focus on limited number of companies, right? So put that small amount of effort for the next 3 to 4 months. You will be in a very good position. So what I mean is that we cannot skip the data structure if you're targeting 50 around, because there, see, otherwise we will have limited companies. So for example, Oyo, Gojek doesn't take the data structure around. So that is fine completely, right? But they will be limited. So you are limiting yourself as well based on location companies. So so for that, I will recommend that. And will it hurt my chances? Yes, Swiggy, Blinkit, it can hurt. Uh, Specializing in experience. See, if you can learn and perform during the interview, what you have done in the companies will matter less. I will tell you how. So one of my student, I will name her as well. She is Tanya Jain. She was having the CTC of 9 LPA, working as a backend developer with 6 months of experience as a freshers, right? Backend developer, and she just wanted to do Android, and I just helped her with my program, and obviously she put a lot of effort, right? And I salute her for that. Great. 6 months of experience doing backend in a company. Now going for the companies where it is very difficult to crack that company. Company name is Motive, Motive. She cracked that. I think 6 to 7 round happened, right? And you will be surprised that she cracked system design and all those things just because she followed what I taught in the class and what I explained today, right? She followed that rigorously. You just can't be just key, I will change the world, right? To change the world, you need to put effort. So she put effort, and with from 9 LPA within 9 months, right? She joined Motive, Motive, complete remote, very good culture, very good tech, right? What I see from the outside. I'm not sure what is happening inside, right? And I cannot say that as also. So she joined with 24 LPA. See, great outcome, right? But very less people will do that because of the nature of what type of humans we are, right? We see LinkedIn and all those things and we feel demotivated. So demotivation is something we should put aside, right? And for that, stop using LinkedIn from that way. Use LinkedIn for your advantage, right? So for example, if I have to use Twitter, I will use twitter.com/notification if I want something to do with my post which I have posted. LinkedIn/feed. No, why will I scroll this feed, useless thing, and I will get in my feed, right? If something is important, I will think and I'll do that, right? So that's how you need to think. Use LinkedIn anything in your advantage. Don't just use for the sake of using it. Don't scroll. Sasikant, you can ping me, right? You already have my number. Hmm. Subhangi has shared, is it okay to post about this session on LinkedIn? Yes, I am free, right? So I am like a person who will not see. There are people, right, teaching, and they will say that whatever I am teaching, don't share on the LinkedIn and anyway, right? Whatever I am sharing, they are your asset, not just mine, right? So you have learned something from me, you should share and you should keep on sharing. That type of person I am, and I'll keep doing that, right? And that has life has given me a lot because of this, right? Nature, and I'll keep doing that. Post it. Okay, got the answer. Okay, now we will wrap up the session and document I have already shared. WhatsApp number is there. Anything, any doubt, anything is there. But see, don't overwhelm me with a lot of technical questions. My team will not answer that. Very simple, right? What we do, we are very sure, and where I invest my time, I am very sure, right? If I am not replying, if my team is not replying, it doesn't mean that we are ignoring. It means that we have a limited bandwidth and we can cater that only, right? So that is for sure. So please don't take it differently. Someone asked 4 years of experience and 14.7 LPA. Your target should be around 26-30, right? I think you will end up around 23, 20 easily you can do. 23, 24 with less patience. 30 you can do with more patience. And why I am able to answer all these things, I am seeing students, what they do, how they have done, right? So I can do. How much focus I should be doing on the testing for the interview, writing tests? See, there are companies which are very good. For them, testing is important. So you'll have to do that, right? I think because I know you by name, and I'm sure you are same. You have my phone number as well. But yes, the testing is very important for you. Specifically, I'm saying for you, testing is very important because you will be targeting very good companies, right? You already will be at 40, 45, and you are my previous student, right? I know that you have done internship under me. You have worked with me, right? So if I'm guessing correctly your name, okay? So for you, it is important. Is it okay to leave job? No. Someone has asked, it is okay to leave job and prepare for the interview. No. Why should you leave? So you should not leave the job, right? Find out time. When you leave the job, you will have less time. Why? You will be more focused on using LinkedIn and getting the demotivation out of that. and you will daily feel that what I am doing. Do the job, don't leave the job, right? Leave the job only that is not working at all. So for example, for one of my student, job was not working because CTO was using the bad languages. So we are not here to just hear the bad language, right? So there you should leave. But when you're doing work, getting paid, overwork completely fine, underpaid completely fine, everything is fine, right? Gaps matters. If you ask, it matters, right? Because you will not have that negotiation power in your hand when you have the gap, right? So that is a concern. But with knowledge, you can transform that also. 9 years of experience, I am at 30. What should be my CTC with my experience? I think you should target around 50. Within 2 years, you should reach 50, 55. Within 1 year, you should target 40, 45. Chalo. Good. We have discussed a lot, and now we will close this. I hope I have answered all the questions. And anyway, few questions were repeated. Few questions were like how this life cycle works in Compose. For that, I'm not here today, at least, right? I can answer that. You all know, but those are the things that should not be discussed in this class. Okay, so we will wrap up this, and I will wish all of you best of all for whatever you are doing in your life, right? Personal, professional, do great, right? Put effort, be honest, do great. And I'm sure that this call must have motivated, inspire most of you. Not all, maybe, but this was my more intentional thing that I will connect with all of you, and I will try my best to help as much as possible how I can help, right? So I hope you all enjoyed a lot, and all good at everyone end. Tell me yes or no. All good? What we did today?
Yes.
Yes, good.
Yes, all good.
Chalo. Good, good. And feel free to message, watch the video, message, however you want to do, whatever you want to do, right? Independently, also, you want to do it. Completely fine, right? But transform your life within 2 years, and I'll be proud more than you on yourself. I'll be proud, right? So that I can say I am proud of someone who put effort and change their life, and I feel very, very happy about what impact I'm able to create with this education thing, right? Don't follow anything on the LinkedIn. Use everything in your favor, right? If I am posting something bullshit, unfollow me. Very simple, right? So that is something I will recommend to everyone. Okay. Good night. Bye bye. Take care. And it was great interacting with you. Difficult for me, for me to ask you to unmute and say something because a lot of people here, more than 200 people joined, right? So that was not possible for me. Chat was the solution for me. I intentionally did that, but yes, it was great. Okay, everyone, bye bye. Take care. Good night. And
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, sir. Bye bye.
Bye.
chalo,
Good night.
bye. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank,
Thank you, sir.
thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.